All right, I think we can go ahead and get started because once we get through the beginning here, it still allows people time to hop in and get the full messaging, and this will be recorded, so we can get started.
Perfect. That's great. No, thank you, Hank. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on how marketing automation can improve your email campaigns. I've met a few of you, but for those of you who I haven't met, my name is Bonnie Robinson, and I'm one of the account managers here at Communicator, based in the UK, obviously, but we are actually joined by Hank Hoffmeyer from across the pond in North Carolina. He's the Senior Manager of Client Services at J2 Global, which is our parent company. And Hank works with ourselves as well as a number of other different family brands that we have. But before we go on to the reason why you're all here, we'll start off with some housekeeping. So first of all, I can see you've all muted your microphones, which is great, just avoids any awkward background conversations with the kids or any feedback. And at the end, we will open it up for Q&A, but please feel free at any point to drop any questions that you have into the chat. But like Hank did say, we'll try and keep it interactive, and he may spring a question or two your way. But we will be recording this as well, so don't worry if you miss anything, and we'll share this with you, 2 to 3 days after the event once we've had a chance to edit out any errors that I make. But as I said before we get on to the main reason why you're here, sharing his knowledge and expertise with us, with over 20 years experience in the sales and marketing space. Hank is an author and a speaker who's been dubbed as the digital marketing infotainer, because basically he makes marketing fun and successful. But before that's all, welcome Hank.
That's a lot to live up to there, Bonnie. I hope I do really well today. Definitely get some feedback. Love to know if I'm doing well and helped you guys out today. And right now we're all working from home. I know I have been for months now. I'm working from home, wake up, that long commute from the bed to the home office. Probably many of you on the call or on today's webinar are doing the same. And one thing I love is I've had smart devices in my home for a while now, and I love how things automatically happen. And I don't know if that's a word and I don't care, but I would define it as when things automatically happen, but they appear to be magical. Some of the things that I have in my home are, the Alexa device, hey, Alexa, where's my order from Amazon, because it comes like every day. I just want to make sure it's coming. I have Siri on my iPhone and iOS devices, Google. I have what's called an August or a smart lock, where I can unlock and lock my phone either with Siri as well as with the app on my phone. And when I arrive home, if I had to go to the store to pick something up, it automatically unlocks the door for me. I have a lot of those things. I automate my home security as well. It's great when you can automate things in your life. And some of you may actually automate the brewing of your coffee in the morning. Let me know in the comments what you're automating, whether it is simply Siri or something, your locks in your home, or if you automatically have your drip coffee start in the morning. Let us know in the comments. And Bonnie, let me know if you get anything interesting, because maybe I can learn something and implement something and make my life a little bit better. But just like automating things in your home, you want to do more automation when it comes to marketing. And that's when marketing automation comes in. And it comes in very handy. It's going to help you save time. More importantly, it's going to help you convert more and make more money. That's probably why you're here today. And you want to learn, how can I automate more so that I can get more conversions and I can free up some time and do other things around the house or during my workday. What I want to do is cover a few things today. The first one is, let's talk a little bit about what marketing automation is, or email marketing automation, and just get a solid grasp of what it is. Then I want to talk to you about why you should use it, the importance of marketing automation, because there are so many marketers right now that are not using marketing automation. And now is the time to get started, especially since the holiday season is coming up. Litmus just published their State of the Email report, and that's a great read, and talking about how COVID affected email marketing. And then the American Marketing Association put out a report talking about how the holiday shopping season is going to start earlier, and it's going to be a lot different in the years past. People's shopping behaviors are going to change and you want to be in the forefront of being able to determine when people want to buy stuff and offer them what you have, whether it's a product or a service. Then we'll get into some tips, and I'm going to give you some simple, crude examples of some automation sequences that you can kind of take as inspiration to do what you need to do or want to do in your automation campaigns. And then last, we have Q&A. It's always my favorite part. It's helping you sometimes individually, or if somebody asks a great question, but it's great for the whole audience. Definitely think of those questions. If you think of something while I'm speaking, go ahead and drop that in the chat so that we have that and it's ready and you don't forget about it. But also at the end, we can kind of ad hoc go through some of the questions you have. When we talk about automation, yeah, we can automate things like making your coffee, unlocking your door. But when it comes to email or marketing automation, it can help you become more efficient. It helps you tailor the customer journey from beginning to end and helps you deliver relevant and timely information to your subscribers based on the data that you're accumulating. It's awesome that you have all this data and you can accumulate it with your platform, such as Communicator, and then you can use it to help you with your marketing automation. You can send a correct message for each stage of the buying cycle that your subscriber is in. And to me, automation is the embodiment of marketing efficiency. There's no way to become more efficient unless you had a robot, which I don't see in the near future. You have robots that clean your floor, but we don't have robots that actually sit behind a keyboard and do your marketing for you. For me, marketing is convincing the right people to need what you have at the right time. It's as simple as that. You need to make sure that you are sending the right message, but also at the right time, because if it's mismatched, it'll be noise in their inbox and they will not convert. Let's take a look at today's consumer because they're very different. And I've used this term, today's consumer, and how consumer behavior has changed for the last 2 years on stage, in webinars, and in workshops. But now there's another element, and we're going to talk about that because we're in a different type of environment right now with COVID and what's happening with the pandemic. But today's consumer is more empowered than ever. They have so much information at their fingertips because they have a mobile device. People can go on their phone and just look up information, whether it's price, description, warranty, whatever they need to look at and decide if they want to purchase or not. They can do it wherever they are and whenever they want to. They're hands-on. They know how to do this. It could be on a tablet, computer, a phone, and they just know where to get this data. Do I go and ask my friends? I'm going to be smart about it. Maybe I'll post on Facebook, hey, I'm looking to buy a new vacuum. Where should I look? What product should I buy? Everything is out there. We can look at reviews on Yelp, on Facebook. We can talk to our friends, talk to people on LinkedIn and ask them, if we're looking for a B2B product or something, we can talk to our friends on LinkedIn and ask them questions before we buy anything. And then once they do business with you, they're going to be very vocal. If they have a bad experience with you, obviously that'll probably show up in reviews and online and people saying negative things, but hopefully that's not happening. But maybe people are really wowed with the service or the product that you gave them, and they're going to go out and leave you positive reviews, and they're just going to talk you up, and all their friends are going to absorb all this information, and then you're going to get more customers out of it. And don't forget to reply to those negative reviews and comments and talk to the folks about your product or your service so you can make things better. One thing is these subscribers or consumers are going to be committed. They'll be committed to you as long as you provide value and something that's of interest to them and it's at a reasonable cost. They're going to be committed to buying from you, but they also want you to be committed to them, right? You need to give them product. You need to give them a service. You need to provide value and back up what you say. And they're going to give you money and maybe a referral or testimonials in kind, right? And it's important to know that there's that two-way relationship with your subscriber. You're not just looking to convert them. You need to develop a relationship because other things can happen down the road, such as those referrals and testimonials. We're all global now. We can buy products wherever we are. Maybe there's somebody, a family member I have living in the UK. I can buy them a gift and have it shipped to them. If I'm in the UK and I'm going to visit the US and I'm going to go to San Francisco and I want to know where good restaurants are, I'm able to research that data. There's no more silos of different countries or different continents anymore. We're all global. And then last, we're all concerned right now with the pandemic going on. We're either concerned about finding a job, we're concerned about keeping our job, our health, our family members. We just have a lot going on in our mind. And right now, it's definitely changing shopping patterns and behavior. This pandemic is causing people to shop less, or when they do shop, they're buying more in one shot, whether it's online or whether it is going in person, because they don't want to be exposed to the pandemic and they do not want to get sick. Think about that and think about how shopping behaviors are changing. Curbside pickup is more important. People are actually slated to spend more money this year, and you want to capitalize on that. What we want to do today is talk about automation and how it's going to help you become more efficient and, more importantly, communicate and convert with today's consumer with what I just explained previously. Now, I told you a little bit about today's consumer, but why should you use automation to talk to today's consumer? Let's take a look at marketing without automation, right? It's a continual repetition of tasks. Oh, I need to put out 3 emails today. Oh, it's Monday. I'm going to go in, create my email. I'm going to send it. Hey, I'm going to go back in. I'm going to look at everybody that didn't engage with this email. They didn't open. And on Wednesday, I'm going to go back and send another email to those people. Then on Friday, I'm going to send out our monthly newsletter. What happens if a fire comes up and you have to put that fire out? Something happens where you can't get to that task, right? It might get forgotten about. It might go out late. Maybe it was a timely email that needed to go out, but something else came up. Your website went down. You had to fix that. That means your email's not going to go out. Then you need to go back and look at the analytics, and you need to make decisions and look at all this different types of things you're doing. And it's all manual. You don't want to be doing that. There could also be a lack of personalization. You can automatically inject personalization into an email, yeah, and it'll be manual, but with automation, you can automatically have that happen all the time. There might be an untimely follow-up. Maybe we're not able to follow up with people that clicked on a link or visited our website or a certain page on our website in a timely manner because, oh, we sent the email out on Wednesday, but then I had to put out some fires on Thursday and Friday. And by the time I got around to it, it was Monday or Tuesday, and they're not warm leads anymore. They moved on. Oh, I already purchased something somewhere else. There's that untimely follow-up. Then we really don't have any visibility into what contacts might not be doing, who's not opening our email. This way we can follow up with them a few days later and send them the same email with a different subject line to try to get more opens. And more importantly, we're not looking at people who haven't opened in the last 6 months and performing a list hygiene sequence or a win-back campaign. Pretty much, I hope you have a full bottle of aspirin if you're doing all these manual and repetitive tasks, because without marketing automation, you're going to develop these headaches, and it's just going to be a pain to keep doing things in a manual fashion. 79% of marketing leads never convert to a sale because of a lack of lead nurturing or using automation. 79%, folks. Customers manage 85% of their relationships without talking to a human. That means they are using chat bots, chats, phones to call people. And it's not a human. It could be IVR, right? When you're calling into support somewhere. But more importantly, more and more people are using email. The report I mentioned from the American Marketing Association and Litmus, they both talk about the importance of email and how it's still a growing channel and how marketers feel like it's still the most important channel they can use for their marketing campaigns. The ROI is slightly down, but the effectiveness is going up. 65% of marketers say they have not established marketing automation. In the chat, here's a little bit micro commitment. I want you to go into the chat. Let me know if you're using marketing automation right now. Yes or no. Just put a yes or no if you're using marketing automation. And Body, when you get enough in there, let me know like what it is, maybe 50-50, 60-40, whatever that split is. Let me know what that is. But are you currently using marketing automation? I want as many of you to reply to that as possible. We're not going to call you out. I'm just looking for how many on this webinar today are or are not using. We're not going to say, hey, Joe, shame on you. You're not using marketing automation. But the reason we're here today is to talk about how you can do it, or if you are doing it, do it better.
Looks like a 70-40, no, sorry, 70-30 split, 70% yes so far.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. We're blowing away the statistics, and your guys are making it reverse, which is awesome. So hopefully, I have some great questions on how you can be doing more with automation at the end. That would be great. If it's for those, 30% of people, nurtured leads or using automation can give you larger purchase sets, 40% larger purchases based on nurturing your leads to a sale and using automation. If you're not nurturing leads, you're going to get less sales, is what it comes down to. 96% of visitors that go to your website are not ready to buy. Think about that. Almost all the visitors to your website are doing research, or they just simply clicked on a link or clicked on a link in an email. They're not ready to buy. What you need to do is make sure that we're following up with these people that come to your website, especially from an email link, because what we want to do is convert those people who are just visiting and perusing your website. We want to make sure that they're converting. And that's where automation comes in. You're now inspired because I told you what automation is, and I gave you some statistics around using automation. But now is the time to send the right message at the right time to the right empowered subscriber so that you can convert more. Let's hop into the tips and examples. Well, some people that are not using automation might say, well, what can I do to start an automation? Simply a subscribe event counts. If somebody goes to my website and fills out a form and says they want to be on my newsletter, which I have a monthly journal called Hank's Journal. It's just a collection of articles I found, blogs that I've read, books that I'm listening to on Audible, and other tools and apps that help me stay organized and get through the week, get through the day, get through the month, and then a story about maybe something that happened to me or a lesson I learned so that I can pass that on to you. And that's at hankhoffmeyer.com if you want to join that. The example here would be as soon as you subscribe to my newsletter, you're going to get a welcome email. You want to send that welcome email as soon as somebody signs up to, number one, set expectations. Thank you for signing up for my journal. You can expect an email from me once a month around 6 a.m. And I hope you read it. You can unsubscribe at any time. And it's also going to tell them how often they're going to get that email. And it's going to remind me, oh yeah, I gave my email address just a couple minutes ago and I want that email. If you start collecting emails, but you don't send the welcome message for a week or a month, I might not remember who you are. And what am I going to do? What's something that I might do if I don't know who you are and I receive an email from you? In the chat, let me know. I'm looking for a specific answer on what somebody can do to an email, which is a bad thing, by the way. And I can tell you why as soon as we get a winner, Bonnie. All right, I see a chat coming in.
Unsubscribe.
Worse than that, they're going to mark it as spam. And you know what happens when people do that is it hurts your domain reputation. In other words, every time you send an email, it's being graded. And if bad things like mark as spam, unsubscribe, or bounce happen, it brings your domain reputation down. And that means more of your emails may end up in the spam folder. That's why it's important to set that relationship up early, set it right, and make sure that you're building a relationship with your subscribers. If I didn't know who you were and you sent me a message, I'm probably going to mark it as spam because I don't want it anymore. A lot of times the unsubscribe process is kind of convoluted. I might click on a link to unsubscribe and I still need to put my email address in. Some platforms still have that functionality where it's not easy to do. I'd rather just mark it as spam. It's just so much easier, but it hurts the sender. You can use a specific date. Maybe you have an event coming up and it's a webinar like today's webinar. We can trigger an automation series based on that date. If somebody qualifies for a segment, maybe they make a purchase of over $50, we can go ahead and start a sequence there. Or maybe it's somebody who hasn't opened an email for me in 6 months. They've received more than 10 emails and haven't opened in 6 months. That's something that can trigger an automation series. And we can use the date field. Best one here would be birthday. I don't know about you, but if you send me an email on my birthday and there's something free in there, I'm probably going to open it, especially if it's from a restaurant, because I'm going to get a free meal or maybe a drink or something. I'm usually always willing to open those emails when it's around my birthday. Let's look at some ideas of what you can do with automation. The first one is that welcome series. Don't just send a welcome email, send a series of emails. Welcome and thank you is the first one. And then a few days later, you can talk about what makes you different from your competitors. Then a few days after that, you can talk about your policies, your support channels, your return policies, etc. Maybe introduce some of your staff or your CEO, things like that. Have a series, a welcome series that lasts, 3 or more emails. It's a great way to start that relationship. Then you can automatically or automagically perform your list hygiene, which is your non-openers. I talked to you about that a slide ago. We can nurture people when they fill out a form, especially if you're B2B. Somebody fills out a form and they're looking for an estimate or looking for more information or specs about a product or service you have. Automation is a great way to send that information without manually having to do it and maybe forgetting to do so. Maybe you're having a sale or an event. You can promote the bejesus out of that and just make sure you're getting every opportunity to get in front of your subscribers and get that conversion. There's the birthday or an anniversary date. Maybe somebody has been doing business with you for a year and you have that date of when they became a customer. Go ahead and send them an email and the birthday I just mentioned. And you can automatically say, if somebody purchases from me or if this action happens, I want to go and ask them for feedback and maybe ask them to follow me on social media. It's a great way to really just follow up with somebody that's probably happy with a purchase and get something after the fact. And that's that feedback. That's a review, a testimonial. So you can use that on your social media channels. Simply, you can give people information. You can set a series of emails up to give people information. Maybe they bought a product from you and you want to send them information on how to use that product. It could be emails with links to videos, PDF guides, all these things that might help them use your product or service better. And then if somebody purchases a specific product like a pillow, maybe you want to follow up and try to sell them pillowcases, which is a great way to use automation and try to give them product recommendations. And maybe somebody did not buy something, but they want to buy something else. That's a great way for you to go ahead and start recommending those products. Let's look at a couple simple examples of items I just mentioned. A subscribe event. We have somebody that subscribes to a list or fills out a form. What we want to do right away is send that welcome email to everyone to say, hey, welcome, thank you for signing up. Here's what you can expect. And then 3 days later to everyone, you're going to send that other email. And maybe that can be a differentiator email. This is how we're different from our competitors. And then 5 days later, if they didn't open that second email, we can go ahead and resend that second email to get some more opens. Then everyone else is going to get an emotional appeal email. Please buy from me, please, please. Well, maybe not that desperate, but more, here's why you should do business with us. This is what we do in our community. This is how we have a low footprint, when it comes to emissions and global emissions, et cetera, things like that. Then 7 days after they've signed up or they're included in this automation series, what you can do is, send that emotional appeal to the people that already opened the second email, the differentiator email. That's just a simple way to say, I have a subscribe event. Here's what I want to happen. Let's talk about a specific date. We have a webinar coming up. So anybody who enters the segment of signing up for a webinar, we're going to go ahead and 10 days before, we're going to go ahead and say, hey, here's the information for the webinar. Don't forget that it's going to be starting in 10 days. Then 5 days before, anyone who did not open that one, we're going to go ahead and try to get their attention again. Then everyone else, in other words, somebody who did open that second one, it could be, here's what you can look forward to for this session, and here's a little bit of information about your speaker. Then 3 days before, kind of a gentle reminder, hey, this webinar is coming up. Hey, if you can't make it, we're going to record it and we're going to send you the link. And then 1 day before, hey, this event starts tomorrow. Then what you can do is just update that contact that you sent these emails. And what's great is you can even add another step is 1 day after anybody who attended. And if you record that, you can go ahead and start sending them another series about upcoming webinars you have more. And this can be relatable to different products or something, but it just depends. Maybe it's a product launch. And you have a specific date for that launch. You can use this series for that as well. Now we have the segment qualification. Maybe we could talk about list hygiene here. What we're going to do is right away, as soon as somebody meets that criteria, they're sent 10 or more emails and they did not open in 6 months, I want to go ahead and send them the win back email. Are we breaking up? Question mark. I don't know about you, but if somebody's breaking up with me, I'm going to open that email to find out why. And that might be a great subject line for you to try out and get them to come back into the fold. Hey, we noticed you haven't been opening our emails. We'd love to continue a relationship with you. Do you want to receive emails from us in the future? Yes or no? Then 5 days after you sent that initial email, you can say, anyone who did not open that email, I'm going to send them a second email. Here are the divorce papers. We mean it. We don't want to inundate your inbox. We only want to send emails to you if you want them. Do you want to stay with us? Yes or no? Then 10 days later, what you're going to do is anyone who did not open the other 2 emails, you're going to send them, here's the paperwork, signed, sealed, and delivered. We're going to remove you at the end of the day today, 3 days from now, whenever you determine, and then you're going to go ahead and send that email and just tell them. Then maybe what you're going to do is give people time to open any of those emails, maybe 20 days, and just say, you know what, maybe people take some time to open their emails and they don't open them right away. Let me wait 20 days. And anyone who did not open any of these emails, we're going to go ahead and remove them from the list. We're going to delete them, whatever you choose to do. But that helps you clean your lists of people that have not opened your emails. How does that help you? In the chat, let me know at least one way that you can think of how list hygiene helps your email marketing campaigns. What are the benefits of list hygiene? In the chat, let me know. Hoping to get at least one response. All right, I see something coming through, Bonnie.
Yep, so we have increases general open rate.
Yes, people miss that all the time. Who said that?
That was Jaden.
All right, that happens because what you're doing is you're cutting the noise out and you actually have a good idea what your open rate is. You're removing the dead weight because these people have not opened, they probably will never open. They're pulling your open rate down, which you don't want to do. If you want to look good to your boss, or if you're the boss and you just want to feel better, perform a list hygiene sequence and get your real open rate, because you'll notice it'll probably be higher, which is great. And if you're looking for your average open rate per industry, 20, 25% is usually always good, but go to smartinsights.com and just do a search for email marketing open rates averages, and then it'll list all of the different industries. That'll help you out there. The second one, I didn't see another comment coming through, but the second one is it helps with that domain reputation. By getting rid of people who are ignoring your emails, you're actually improving your domain reputation. Because if you send to 100 Gmail subscribers and say 60% or 60 of them do not engage with your emails, they're ignoring them, Gmail counts that. And they say, you know what? A majority of the folks they're sending to are ignoring their emails. Therefore, they're irrelevant. Let's knock their domain reputation down. Let's send more of their emails to the spam folder. Now, you might say, well, Hanks, even if I have a bad reputation, I still get opens. Yes, people that are highly engaged with your emails will continue to receive emails in the inbox, but just think new people that are added to your list, and then you have that subscribe event workflow. A lot of those emails are going to end up going to the spam folder, and that's not what you want. So list hygiene is important. There's just so much information out there, and it can be another whole webinar on that. Let's look at a custom date example. This would be anniversary date or birth date. So once somebody qualifies or you have that date and you know what it is, 30 days before, you can start marketing to them if you want to. Hey, we know your birthday is coming up in 30 days. We're going to send you something awesome. We're going to talk about why that's important. Why do it 30 days out? Well, I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But a week before, hey, your birthday's coming up. Here's some ideas to buy yourself a gift, and maybe send them an email with some links to something that might be of use or maybe of interest to me. One day before my birthday, hey, here's a coupon code, come and shop at our website. The day of, we noticed you didn't check out, or you didn't buy anything yet, you didn't use your coupon code. Here it is again. Make sure to buy something today. Again, the day after, you can check, and you can send another email. And 5 days after, you can go ahead and check and send another email. I know that's kind of overkill, but hey, if you're kind enough to keep reminding me to use my coupon for my birthday, I think I might actually appreciate that, because I tend to forget to use all those coupons I get. All right, so let's just look at a general workflow kind of like for nurturing, like you get somebody in your audience and then you want to get them to buy. And it's kind of like that welcome email nurture series. You know, we have our audience, people enter the audience. We're gonna go ahead and send that awesome welcome email and set those expectations. Then a few days later, we're gonna send that emotional appeal, that please buy from me email. Then what we can do is check, did they open that emotional appeal email? If they did, we're going to send the next one in the series. That's going to be the differentiator email. What makes us different from our competitors? Maybe they didn't open that. We're going to resend that with a different subject line because it is an important email. We want to tug at the emotional heartstrings of our subscribers. Then the next email would be sending a testimonial email. So that would be testimonial from other customers and in quotes, image, whatever you want, to tell people how awesome you are and why they should be doing business with you. Then finally, what you're going to do is send an incentive, right? Maybe they opened all these emails or they haven't, but they haven't bought from you yet. This is where you introduce some kind of incentive, like a coupon, like 20% off or something, try to get people to convert. Then at some point during the sequence, you can add more emails if you want, but you can say, yeah, did they open any of these emails and become a customer? Yes, they're a customer now. So what we can do is add them to the general customer workflow. Thank you for becoming a customer. Here is some information about the product or service you bought. Here's our return policy. Here is our support channels. Again, adding them to a separate workflow with all of this information. And maybe they didn't and they haven't opened an email in 6 months or 3 months. Maybe you can automatically add them to the re-engagement workflow. These all are plug and play, and you can send people from one workflow to another. A critical component of automation is segmentation. It's being able to identify people based on data you have. What you want to do is make sure that you're using segmentation so that you succeed. According to the DMA, marketers have found a certain % of increase in email revenue from segmented campaigns. I want to drive the point home of how important segmentation is. What I want you to do is in the chat, I need at least 3 guesses. What is the percentage of increase that you think you should get if you use segmentation in emails? Get ready to have your socks blown off. Go ahead and give me a couple of guesses.
We've got first one in, 150%, 75%, and let's see one more.
What's interesting is the first one you mentioned, that's one of the first times I've ever had triple digits in the onset. Usually it's double digits, but who said 100 and some odd %?
Let's Jaden again.
All right, he's our MVP. He gets a gold star. And what we want to do is let's make sure we're going higher than that. So we're in triple digits, but we got to go higher. One more guess. Don't be shy. Hope you're studying for the test at the end.
220%.
220%. Same respondent?
Nope, different.
All right.
220, damn it. Oh, wow.
So,
yeah.
what do you think about that number? 760% increase in email revenue if you target the right people. If you simply just target the right people, you're going to make more money. So what are you going to do? I believe that there are 4 pillars of segmentation. Let's run through them. First one is geographic. That is, where are they? What city, country do they live in? And what is the density of that location? That's a simple one. Where are they located? Maybe you run events in certain areas, which hopefully, after COVID, those can pick up a little bit. Or you want to target people in certain areas. Or maybe just you have products that have the names of different cities or something. You can target people by the geographic location. Next, we have demographic. This would be their age, income, gender, education, and what they do for a living. Maybe you have a need to target them for them. Maybe it's your product or service is limited for people of certain ages, or maybe you're looking to target people with high income. And then we have psychographics. This is my favorite one. Folks, if you're not getting this data, you need to start getting it. This is lifestyle, values, their concerns, personalities, and attitudes, as well as AIO, which is what I call it, AIO, activities, interests, and opinions. And what you're probably thinking right now is, That's wonderful, Hank. That's great. How do we get this information if people are not just giving it to us on a silver platter? The best way to get some of this information is to do a survey. Send them a survey or a questionnaire. We'd like to learn a little bit more about you so we can send you relevant offers, relevant product information, or information about our services. Humans like to help other people, and if you ask in a genuine manner, they'll probably give you that information. Because for the most of you folks on this webinar today, you probably should only be asking for what you need to start a relationship in your forms on your website. And that usually is first name and email address. Now, restaurants can get away for asking for, birthday or at least birthday month so that they can send those few coupons. And I'd be willing to give that because I know that I'm going to get that discount. But really, you only need a first name for personalization and an email address so you can email them to start the relationship. But use surveys to get some more of this data. I also like to look at behavioral data. What are people doing and not doing? Are they opening? Are they not opening? Follow up with those non-openers with another email or the same email with a different subject line. Look at signals. Hey, are people not opening my emails much? Or are they? Or are they going to my website as well? How long are they spending time on my website if they open? If you connect your Google Analytics to your email platform, and then also look at your VIPs. A lot of people tend to say, "Hey, I'm going to treat people who have not opened my email in a while. I'm going to give them 20, 30% discount." But why are you not treating your VIPs the same? Why are you not trying to get people to convert more? That's something you need to look at is who are your VIPs and give them some love. And remember, nurturing doesn't end after the conversion. Yay, you sold a product, sold a service, go on to the next person, try to convert them, right? Wrong. What you need to do is you can have people start spreading the word about how great you are. Start getting those referrals, get people to talk great about you, especially on social media. Try to help you get more sales. It creates an opportunity for you to ask for those reviews, those references, referrals, testimonials, or maybe a case study. Maybe somebody's willing to go out of their way and make a video for you. And that's something you can use in your email and on your website. Keep in mind, nurturing doesn't stop after they convert. There's still more nurturing that you can do. What you want to do is keep them coming back. You want to provide value in your emails. There's nothing worse than me signing up for an email and somebody's trying to sell me something right off the bat. You need to make sure that your email is starting a relationship and you're having a conversation. Email marketing allows you to have a conversation with your audience. Think about it. It's the only channel that you can send emails to, say, 100,000 people, but yet make it feel like a one-on-one conversation. That's what makes it the most powerful marketing channel there is. You can also send a sequence of emails rather than just one, and the sequence can, each email can build on one another, making me have that fear of missing out or FOMO, and I'm going to want to open the next one and look for it when it comes to my inbox. And then ask people to give you reviews, and maybe email is not their thing. Maybe they signed up to get a coupon from you or something. They just really don't like email that much, especially when it comes to buying things. What you can do is ask them to follow you on social media. Let's dive into these. By providing value to your audience, think about it as being a bank or working with a bank. You have money, and what you can do is go and make a deposit, right? And let's correlate that to your newsletter or information. You want to send out emails that matter to me. I worked with a client that sold eyeglasses. If anybody is on the webinar today wearing eyeglasses, you probably know you don't buy eyeglasses every day, every week, or every month. Once a year, if you're lucky, and especially, you're looking to see if your healthcare is going to cover that. But this client would just send out every week frames and glasses and try to promote the products every single week. And we noticed the open rate was going down over time, and it was just slowly going down. It was going to keep going down until we did something about it. I said, why don't we start injecting information into your newsletters or your promo newsletters around how to improve your vision organically, how to care for your frames, clean them, clean your lenses, what type of microfiber cloths that you can use, and provide value. And that's something way back when I learned from State Farm, because State Farm would love to have you buy auto insurance and then also home insurance. But if you only have one, they can't just keep trying to sell you. They might send emails and have information about how to keep your home safe from burglaries. And then they might also say, hey, here's a great checklist for road trips and making sure your car is in top order for that road trip. They're providing value. And that's what this eyeglass company did, is they started putting these little blurbs in there, links to articles. They started creating blog posts. And then maybe at the bottom, they would highlight a couple frames. And we also got away with seasonal frames in spring, some of the bright colors, putting those in there, because maybe, I have these blue/gray frames, but maybe during the summer, maybe I want a pair of hot pink frames for when I'm on stage so that I stand out. I actually wear a pair of Converse that's like floral, and it stands out against dark jeans when I wear them. And what that helps do, it helps me brand myself. A lot of times people say, hey, there was that guy on that stage, I forgot his name. Let me go back and look. He was the guy with the floral sneakers. And somebody, oh yeah, that's Hank. And it helps me brand myself. And I'm providing value by speaking on stage, but I'm also making myself memorable. So if you can provide value and make yourself memorable in your emails, that's going to help you. Because what will happen is you're making all these deposits, you can then ask for the withdrawal. At some point, maybe it's one email a month for the eyeglass company. They're going to go ahead and ask for the sale a little bit heavier. And it's great to be able to do that. Build that trust, that relationship with your subscribers, and then ask for the sale. Make sure that you're making more deposits than you are withdrawals, because you don't want to overdraft. If you haven't read it yet, Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Jab, 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 Right Hook, highly recommend it. Talks exactly about the bank analogy, but he doesn't use the bank analogy, obviously title of the book, but he talks about providing value first and then asking for the conversion later. Sequence of emails, which I mentioned. What you want to do is make people want more from you. They have to be looking forward to that next email, not get turned off by the first or the second email you send them, because they're going to turn off, they're going to unsubscribe, they're going to start marking your message as spam, or maybe just ignoring it, which we've already proven can hurt you. What you need to do is in each email, if you can, if it's a series, especially in an automation series, what you're going to do is allude to something awesome. In our next newsletter, we're going to talk about how you can XYZ. It's going to make me say, I need to read that other email. A lot of people do that on YouTube with their videos, is they say, in my next video, we're going to break down how to fix this. Maybe they're doing a review, but then they talk about how to fix a product in the next video. What did we learn today? It's quiz time. Actually, I'm going to give you all the answers. Don't worry about quiz. Don't worry about using the chat unless it's for a question. Start thinking of those. We learned that digital marketing is always changing and it's evolving. Consumers are adapting and changing. And with COVID, there's something more recent. Just this year, consumers are changing their behavior. It allows you to, automation allows you to provide customers and clients with what they need when they want it. By using segmentation and automation powered together, you're going to get more conversions. You're going to develop more relationships, and you're just going to convert more. It's just a no-brainer to use automation. Yes, automation takes some upfront work, and you got to do some manual things up front, like I said, with doing manual tasks. But once you set it up, it's kind of like set it and forget it, or set it up and possibly tweak it later. It's well worth it. Highly recommend doing it, or doing it more or better if you're currently doing it. As Bonnie said, 70% of us on this webinar today are currently using it. And don't forget to automate more in your life. Use that coffee maker more. Get smart lights, so you can turn them on and off with your voice and other things. I'm going to look into some of those, and hopefully I can make my life a little bit easier. But more importantly, I'm going to use automation more to make sure that I'm nurturing my subscribers to open more emails and maybe convert. Maybe they want to buy my book or something like that. But I'm providing more value than I am making those withdrawals using the bank analogy. Automation is for everyone. The folks that are currently using it, thank you for using it. It's awesome that you are. And if you're not, hopefully I encourage you to do so today. But everyone can benefit from automation. Marketers, more importantly, the subscribers can benefit from it. And I can benefit from automation in general, because now I could do more from home. And that can help everyone else out by doing more of these webinars. Let's hop into the Q&A, because I know there's probably some questions coming through, and I want to make sure we cover as many as we can.
Let's open that up for questions. Thank you very much there, Hank. We've already got a couple of questions starting to flow through in the comment section, but yeah, let's open it up if anyone wants to ask directly. If not, I'll proceed to ask the first one that we have. So it is from Jaden, and he is asking, going back to the point that you made, Hank, there about surveys. In general, what's the shelf life for survey data?
That's an excellent question. It depends on what questions you're asking, right? So that's the marketer in me. It's like, what questions are we asking? Are they dated, et cetera? Like, where do you live? Like, somebody might, how often do people move? But then again, I might answer a survey today and move next week. I would say it depends on the data, but if it's like geographic data, if it's the data, like how much they're making where they work, you want to refresh that 6 months to a year. But some of it is probably good for a long time, depending, like favorite color, right? That never changes. The birth date never changes, things like that. But things that can change, I would say 6 months to a year, refresh that data. Good question. I was never asked that before.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think as well, it can vary massively depending on the product in question as well. Something like, say, a car has a lot longer lifespan in terms of purchasing patterns compared to, I don't know, a
Right.
film.
But if you are selling cars and you ask how often do you buy a car, typically that's not going to change unless their lifestyle changes. Like if they move from the city out to the suburbs or something, because somebody in the suburbs is going to put more mileage on their car. But probably that answer would last a lot longer than say how much do you currently make right now.
Just a follow-up question to that one as well. Is it best practice to create a new data table for each new survey, or should we build up all of their survey, all of the behaviors or survey results in a single data table? So to maybe rephrase that out of communicator speak a little bit, should we sort of refresh and update the data or keep building on it if we're doing multiple surveys over time?
Right. I think okay, so yeah, you kind of helped me there a little bit. If you're doing multiple surveys, I would say it'd be a new data table. But if it's something that's going to be something that's just going to be refreshed every now and then, like title, I would say just include that in like the subscriber / contact table or one table. And then every time you update that, it'll just be updated. But if you're going to use the data for, say, a specific automation series or a specific campaign, it'd be good to have another table, because then you could just say, hey, after 3 months, this data is not really relevant to us because we're only using it for this one campaign. You can just delete it.
Yeah, no, very good point. I think yeah, it depends if you want to refer back to that data at a future point. If you do, then certainly keep a hold of it. But again, it goes back to that initial question of how long is it relevant for. If it has a shorter shelf life, it's probably better to just override it and update it and have the most up-to-date information included in there.
Was this helpful to everyone in the chat? Let me know if it was helpful or if it was more of just inspiration for you rather than learning anything. We definitely want to make sure these webinars are valuable to you. So just drop us a little bit of feedback.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'll feed that back to you as soon as we get that through, but keep the questions coming. We've got one more that's again a little bit more specific to Communicator. Is there a way to filter using subscribe date criteria within Communicator? Yes, there is.
I was going to say, it sounds like a question for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends how the data has been either imported, whether it's through a data capture form or a manual import or through the API calls. But yes, you can. Probably be best to use the CC date created. But we can certainly look at that specific example for yourself there, Jill, and identify what's the best column to use.
Any other questions? We're here to answer all your burning questions.
Yeah. Any other questions? Keep them coming.
It can be email marketing or marketing in general too, because we got 8 minutes left, folks. We can fill the time up with whatever you want. Or if you need to hop on to your next Zoom call soon, we can understand if you want to drop off. But anything marketing related, while you have us here, we're willing to talk about it.
Could be a thought or comment as well. Anything?
I highly recommend going to litmus.com and getting that report, the state of the email marketing. It has, I'm actually probably 3/4 of the way reading it in detail. I did skim it already. There's just a lot of great information in there talking about email marketing and information pertaining to COVID, personalization, a bunch of other things.
Sure. I guess one specifically for me, you mentioned two potential resources. There was a book, I think it was by Gary Vee. Would you recommend any other good resources? And I know some people might not prefer to read a whole book. Any blogs or anything?
Yeah, this is Gary's book. It's a great book to read, whether it's digital or in print. I tend to read a lot of different books. Hug Your Haters by Jay Baer is another one. It talks about, people that are giving you negative reviews or talking negatively about you, how to handle those. And then sometimes you can turn them around and it can be your best customers. Jack Mitchell, Hug Your Customers is up here as well. The Now Revolution from Jay Baer. Of course, my book, The ABCs of the Customer Journey, The Beginner's Guide to Automation, Branding, and Customer Service. I'm trying to think of anything else that's out there that I read. Seth Godin has a bunch of really good books. He's got one around, like what is marketing. But he's got some great stuff out there. I'd say Seth Godin, because he really pushes you to do more and do great.
Yeah, I definitely recommend him as well. But I think that's it on the questions. But if anything does come up, just feel free to ping it in there. And of course, if you didn't want to ask a question out loud, feel free to reach out to us directly. But in conclusion, just want to say thank you, Hank, for sharing the information and taking the time out to do so. If anyone's got any follow-ups, thoughts, or queries or anything specific that they would like to implement in terms of their campaigns, please do reach out to your account managers. We'll be more than happy to help you look at the options that are available and certainly help take your marketing to that next level.
Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, my pleasure. But thank you, everyone. Have a great afternoon and speak to you all soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.